On behalf of the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics, NCSSM, I would like to welcome you to this final round of interviews, Alec Smart.
Thank you, Mrs. Weatherby.
Your application essays suggest quite a colorful life story. Would you care to share what you consider the highlights?
Certainly. As you know, I was born and raised in England before my family moved to the Australian outback when I was 5. My parents homeschooled me while we made regular excursions to study exotic desert wildlife as part of their long-term contract with a private conservatory.
Interesting.
We just moved to North Carolina last year. My dad inherited a farm in Claremont from a long-lost brother. So I decided to try a local public high school. It left something to desire.
How so?
The kids there are forced by law to be there. I have no concept for that. They hate learning. I love it. So I thought I would give NCSSM a look. The student body might be more amenable to learning than the usual crowd.
Very true. What exactly about NCSSM appeals to you?
Mostly, I just want to spend time with other bright, self-motivated students. I can get the academics online that I need at a normal state school. That is not the point. I want to make contacts, high-quality contacts, and lots of them. This looks like the place to do it.
Well, we certainly take pride in the quality of our student body.
As well you should.
Did you have any questions about the school you wanted answered?
Well, yes, actually. I did some research on the internet to learn all I could about the school. I found a wide range of information, some good, some reliable, but mostly a mix of gossip and hyperbole.
NCSSM is an imaginary place in North Carolina. It is imaginary in the sense that the administration swears it is the holy grail of high school academia. In reality, it eats souls. If you go to NCSSM, you have a 99% chance of being burnt out by the time you go to college.
Community service sucks.
Yes, it does.
And where is the owner? He left us written instructions to stack this firewood, but we've seen no sign of him today, and we have hardly accomplished anything. Pathetic.
I know. The charity service is a heck of a lot of nerve dumping us in the middle of the woods like this without even cell phone service.
I was a normal kid who happened to earn top scores at my old high school. Then I accepted the greater challenge and moved to NCSSM. Now, when I'm not slopping food in the cafeteria, mopping floors in my dormitory, or doing community service scut work for ungrateful homeless skanks, I eat brains for breakfast, lunch, and dinner so I can earn mediocre grades with no guarantee of college credit. Thanks, NCSSM, for mutating me into a zombie.
Well, obviously there are some aspects of NCSSM that come part and parcel with any government-run, taxpayer-financed school.
We need government-run, taxpayer-financed schools. Why do we need government-run, taxpayer-financed schools? So we can educate the children. On what would we need to educate the children that they cannot learn at home? How to socialize. Why do we need to socialize the children in government-run, taxpayer-financed schools? So they can learn to get along in various unchosen and crowded places. Various unchosen and crowded places such as the government-run, taxpayer-financed schools. Oh, of course. Why did I not think of that? You are not as well-trained a state bureaucrat as I am.
Oh, sure, that is to be expected.
There were also issues raised in some chat rooms about the way the curriculum here originated.
We need to develop a challenging curriculum for the students at the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics. S&M for short.
S&M. I love it already. But what do you mean by challenging?
I mean an intellectual flogging.
You naughty boy. How shall we flog them?
Let us play a game. I will make a suggestion for intellectual flogging. You will try to top it.
Sounds like fun. Go.
We shall give them more work than they can possibly accomplish in the time allotted.
We shall give them tests harder than any they may encounter in college.
We shall compel them to engage in degrading scut work at less than slave wages as part of their graduation requirements.
We shall monopolize their time with meaningless mandatory meetings.
We shall enforce paternalistic rules upon them that would demoralize any self-respecting young adult.
We shall give them less tangible benefit than they would have gotten at their old high schools.
We shall make it impossible for them to earn the kinds of high grades they would have earned back home.
I love it. But who would attend such a school? How will we draw students here for that kind of brutal punishment?
Marketing. We will tout the school as prestigious and elite and create a market demand where none previously existed.
We will exercise the negotiating tactic of takeaway power to entice students to make themselves subservient to our whims.
Once we have them here, we will arrange their schedules
so as to make returning home virtually impossible.
Having broken them in person, we can have our way with them.
Eventually the Stockholm Syndrome will take effect.
And seduce them into loving us and the school.
Any dissenters will be intimidated into silence by the majority of those so fooled.
We can continue the cycle for an unlimited number of generations of students.
You make me feel so good when you say things like that.
I look forward to us experiencing pleasure as we inflict pain upon the students.
I can assure you our curriculum here is top-notch.
Your highly paid former chancellor has openly stated that it sucks the life energy from students.
We were bringing in kids taking 6 courses that are college-level courses. That is the equivalent to 18 credits in college. They do 3 hours of work service a week. They also have seminars, club activities, and sports. They also have supervised study. When you add up all of the hours, it is impossible for them to brush their teeth.
I also found the origins of the school in 1980 during Jim Hunt's reign as governor quite entertaining, especially in terms of how his politicking about education became an issue when he ran against incumbent Jesse Helms for U.S. Senate in 1984.
Affirmative. We need to spend money on schools like NCSSM so we can beat China in academics and return the USA to #1 where we belong. Negative. We need to spend money on arms like the B-1 bombers so we can nuke those godless communists back to the Stone Age where they belong.
In any case, over the years I have learned of numerous shortcuts to save loads of time in all areas of life, from exercise to schooling to earning a living.
Any exercise carried on beyond the least amount required to stimulate an optimal increase is not merely a waste of effort, it is actually highly counterproductive. A slacker is one who has developed a method of operation that requires less than half the effort of the average person's, while achieving comparable results, thereby freeing up time to pursue more enjoyable activities. As you can see from Figure 2, there is a distinct point at which effort does not produce a greater return. An excessive effort, most often by overachievers, actually is a diminishing return on effort. The successful slacker always aims for slacking Shangri-La, the point at which minimal effort produces maximal return on effort. I know I could apply for 100 jobs, each time claiming a different college as my alma mater, and never get caught. If nobody checks, how important can it be?
Efficiency is important here.
Of course, adapting to the roommate situation may present a challenge. I have read colorful stories of those experiences as well. Dealing with difficult roommates represents a special case of dealing with difficult people. Luckily, I have already studied and resolved the matter in terms of the needed knowledge. The first involves identifying emotional vampires and diffusing their power. The second simply represents applying those principles to the especially intense case of sharing a dormitory room.
I truly enjoy interacting around the clock with extremely bright students from many diverse cultures at NCSSM.
Could you please stop talking? You are messing with my Zen state.
Shut the hell up, Buddhist bitch.
He can throw you down a flight of stairs, but you still would love him anyway. Yeah, you know you love him anyway.
I love living away from the prying eyes of my parents. Me too. Dorm check. Quick. Hide the roach clip on the beer bong.
We strictly enforce the law here.
I expected no less. I just want to make sure I have an accurate picture before I commit 2 years of my life here.
So what is the bottom line here, Alec? Do you want to come to NCSSM or not?
Of course I want to come. I just want to make sure I prepare myself. So I have an action plan.
What is that?
In order to prepare for the rigors of NCSSM, I have devised a schedule to follow every single day this summer to ground myself fully in the foundations of its junior year curriculum. Using a combination of learning tools such as a mighty OpenCourseWare, Math Excel, homework helpers, advanced placement review guides, and unabridged audiobooks, I intend to commence my first day of class already knowing exactly the material the class will cover. In addition, I have located an especially useful book by Cal Newport containing proven strategies for success in an environment like NCSSM.
Amazing. I can tell you are quite the proactive young man. You do realize we have service requirements here as well. So I hope you are prepared for those.
Of course. I even ran an analysis of them.
How clever of you.
Put bluntly, the hoopla over the service requirements at NCSSM offsetting taxpayer costs warrants close scrutiny. After running the numbers, the effort per student amounts to less than a 5% cost savings. Moreover, the savings themselves come at a cost of employing adults in the area who could themselves pay taxes. They also come at a cost of consuming the time of students already overwhelmed with schoolwork, some to the point of depression and attempted suicide. This would make an interesting study for any activist group who has the time and resources to conduct it. A careful mathematical analysis of the workload at NCSSM shows clearly that the typical junior only has a 5% margin for error in his schedule. Any sort of illness or emergency can easily consume this margin and then some. The only possible way to overcome this time crunch, without sacrificing necessities such as sleep, involves preparing adequately the preceding summer so as to reduce the total time demanded for study outside of class. Moreover, cult exit counselor Stephen Hassan demonstrates amply in his book, Releasing the Bonds, that one method of controlling people involves the total monopolization of their time. Whether by accident or by design, NCSSM clearly controls its students by controlling their time.
I normally would not say something like this, and I will deny saying it if accused. Some of the statements you made shocked me. I honestly do not know if you would make a good fit here at NCSSM after hearing them.
I see.
However, your admission here is virtually guaranteed. No one else from your district even made it this far, and state law compels us to accept people from every district. So now the burden falls squarely on your shoulders to show us you can in fact become a contributor to this student body.
Is that an informal statement that I'm admitted?
I am afraid so, for better or for worse.
Jolly good.
NCSSM.
Never ceasing school of sadism and masochism.
Welcome to hell.
We hope you enjoy your stay.